So, I've always wondered why most black people in America consistently vote for one party, and it always struck me as odd. And nobody has been able to really give me the reason why they consistently do that, and nobody has been able to even make a case for why people should vote for the other party. I mean, I've tried to ask many African Americans, and some of the reasons that I've been given is that the Republican Party, maybe they are the party of racists, that they hate black people, and they do not have the interest of black people at heart. And that the Democratic Party knows how to speak the language of black people. They know how to appeal to black emotions. They know how to appeal to the black voters. And I do not know to what extent this appeal has been able to translate into tangible goods for the black community, how it has been able to translate into better life, better services, better outcomes for the black community. So it struck me as odd. But there was this video I saw by Stephen A. Smith, and he made a perfect case for why the black community should not give their vote to one party specifically in every election cycle. He made a very, very good case for why the black people should at least every 4 years vote for the other party, just to make sure that their votes become competitive. So let's get right into that video.
Stephen A. said that every black person in America should vote Republican for at least one election. Stephen A. Smith is joining me now. Stephen, who are you trying to send a message to? Republicans, Democrats, African Americans, all of the above?
I'd go with all of the above. That sounds about right, but specifically the Democratic Party from the standpoint that I definitely believe that the black vote has been taken for granted, and primarily the black community is at fault in my estimation in that regard, simply because on one hand, we're giving one party our vote because they've successfully gone about the business of convincing our community that the other party, the Republican Party, is completely against the interest of the black community. And as a result, we've been very transparent in our support. We've boarded hook, line, and sinker. We look at the Republican Party. I'm not talking about every single one of us, of course, but vast majority of black Americans look at the Republican Party as the enemy. We look at the Democratic Party, even tacitly, as our support base. And as a result, we are very transparent in our support for them. So because of it, they have a license to take us for granted. The Republican Party has a license to summarily dismiss us because they believe they'll never get our vote anyway. And then we end up finding ourselves devoid of any kind of representation whatsoever because nobody is really competing to garner our vote and our support. So I said what I said because I wanted folks in my community to stand up and recognize that if you go to a house or you go buy a car or whatever the case may be, you don't just see something you want and say, I want that. Tell me what the price is and I'll pay for it. Somebody has to flatter you in order to garner your dollars and your support. I think the same should apply to politicians who represent us.
So what Smith said here was perfect. He captured, I couldn't have put it in a better way. You are not making your votes competitive. You're not making yourself competitive if you are going to be predictable in the way you vote every election cycle. I mean, why should the Democrats bother to even do anything for you when they know that they have you in their corner all the time? Why should they bother to do anything for you? Why should they bother to even cut you when they know that whether or not they cut you, they already have your vote? If I was running a company and I had two products and one of those products was selling on its own, it was doing excellently well, and the other product was not selling so well, but it has potential, where do you think I will focus my marketing activities or my money on? Where do you think I will put my investment in? Definitely, I'm going to put my investment in the place where there's potential, but I currently do not have the market. I'm not going to waste money on a place where it's a business that's already doing very well. So black people need to make their votes much more competitive. And black people complain about Republicans trying to disenfranchise them and saying that it is racist. I mean, voting for one party is like being a sitting duck because the Republicans can just formulate a strategy. In fact, a 2-year-old can just formulate a strategy targeting that specific block of people, because in every election cycle, one factor does not change in the fact that black people are going to vote overwhelmingly for Democrats. So if I was a smart politician, if I was a smart Republican politician, if there's a way I can legally undermine the votes of black people, that will work in my favor. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with racism. It has nothing to do with not liking black people. It has everything to do with, with the politics. It has everything to do with the effectiveness of trying to, get the votes, trying to get your party into power. And black people have made it so easy for Republicans to be able to allegedly disenfranchise them. But when you're not that predictable, when they know that you can switch up based on the policies that the candidates are presenting themselves with, then it will not be so easy for them to target the black vote, to disenfranchise them. So the problem of voter suppression and all that would be eliminated if black people actually, look at politicians on a case-by-case basis, look at every election cycle on a case-by-case basis, and not just sit on the door of the Democrats and give them all your votes at all the time. I mean, there's this statement that says familiarity breeds contempt. Why would they have any respect for you when they know they have you in their corner 24/7? They have you. No matter what happens, they have you. Joe Biden says that if you don't vote for him, then you're not black. And still overwhelmingly black people voted for him. Is that not an insult to black people? That black people, those who think that the other candidate is worth voting for, Joe Biden automatically has the right to tell those black people that they are not black enough, that they are not black people. And black people still voted for him. So I think that this is a very important point that Stephen A. Smith has made. I mean, if the Republicans know that there's a chance that they can make any headway with the black people, they will make an effort. But when they know that no matter what they try, they're not going to make any headway, then they're not going to bother in the first place. So the claim that Republicans don't know how to talk with black people is actually caused by, say, black people, because you're giving your vote overwhelmingly to one party. So I do wish that more black people, let them be some variability in your voting pattern. Don't just give one party they won't respect you that way, because they know that they have you in their corner and they can always count on you. So they're going to put their investment somewhere else. So that's the video. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Tell me whether you think that black people should just continue voting Democrats for another 1,000 years, or maybe they should switch it up a bit, just to send a message to the Democrats that, look, if you don't give us what we really want, if you don't do anything for our communities in terms of education, in terms of crime, in terms of so many other things, in terms of infrastructure, if you don't do that, then we're going to go over to the other party. That is leverage. And right now, I don't think that the black people have the leverage politically. So, till next time, remain awesome.